So here is our plan. Gonna finish that Project 2 research paper, and let's go ahead and open up where I was. This is how far we got in section 1. We completed it, and let's just skim through very quickly what we have. Here's our document. We had our footnote where we're starting today and finishing up. We had a couple more paragraphs with a couple more references, and then Microsoft inserted a works cited for us, did all this work for us, and you're going to be able to do that today. And then we did a little spell checking, and we were done. So fairly easy finishing up the rest, and along the way getting some pointers. So I'm going to close this one and open up the one we have for this section. So I will go start up Word. It remembers my previous documents, and I'm going to the section 2 technology. We have this information in there. We ended last time on this footnote. We added a footnote, and I'm going to go down, edit our footnote, and we're adding a reference to that footnote. We don't have this source yet, but we do know that we want to put a parenthetical reference to a paper by Clark. So we click on the references, insert citation. Since we don't have this source yet, and we are not using the previous source that we already have, we're going to just add the placeholder. So click Add Placeholder and type in Clark for our placeholder title. We will come back and modify the source. But now as we're looking at this, we realize that our footnotes don't match the 12-point double space. I see that I'm in my footnote. It's a 10-point. It is Times New Roman, but it is a double space. And I want all my footnotes to be double spaced 12-point like everything else. So what do? Right-click, modify, or right-click, style. And in my style, I'm going to modify the current style of this footnote. Right-click, modify. And I'm changing my font size for my footnotes to be 12. And my double spacing is right there. Let's go ahead and make them double spaced. And I am already modifying the style footnote text. So once I click OK, it's going to remember my footnote style for all the rest of my footnotes, although I actually am not putting any more footnotes in this. If I were going to have more footnotes, they would also follow this because I have now just modified the footnote style. And I click Apply. Now I would see footnotes up here. So I think, oh, I don't see footnotes here. I would have thought footnotes would be hiding up here. I don't see footnotes. There's quotes. All right. But I can tell that I have modified my footnotes out. Now, did they make the first line indent? I wasn't paying attention to the textbook there. I think we only changed the fonts. Oh no, they did change the first line indent. Yep, sorry. I missed a style. I'm going to right click, style. I missed a part here. In the modify, I need to go down here in the extra format of the paragraph, extra format, paragraph, and I need to change my special first line ½ inch. It automatically puts ½ inch as the default indent for my first line. Now I click OK and OK again, and now it will remember all my footnotes also have the first line indent.
Can you go back and
Yeah, so right click, style, modify. I got the 12-point and double space, and I forgot before, format, paragraph, and that's where I added the special first line indent, that we also want footnotes to have that first line indent just like everything else. Then I did OK and OK all the way back out and applied it to my footnotes. By default, it now remembers that for all my footnotes. Okay? Got that? Okay? All right, we'll go on, and now we have our footnote. We had our parenthetical citation. Now we actually want to put the information in there for a parenthetical citation. So we click on that. The little arrowy guy pops up. Our citation options. And I go to now edit the source for that citation. I click edit source. And now I can choose what that is. And first of all, I choose what kind of source it is. I believe this one is a book. Yeah, this is a book, so I change my type of source to book, and I will see then that my suggested information changes. And let's enter information about the author. Now I could, and they show an example, with multiple authors, last name, comma, first name, semicolon, last name, comma, first name, for multiple authors. But they show in the book that if I don't remember exactly how to do that, this gives you a little edit helper for multiple authors. Click the edit, and that shows me that I can add Clark as my last name, first name Addison Lee, and add that as one of my authors. And now add another author, Zhao. Let's get the spelling right here. Or sorry, Nadir is the name of the author, not Zhao. That was another author. Nadir Aisha Seti, and I click add. And it puts it in last name. Oh, I see I have a typo in Clark. I double click. Oh, I can't fix my typo? Come on, let me fix my typo. Oh, it doesn't let me delete or edit that. I guess.
You can delete it.
Yeah, I can delete it and re-add it. Or I'm just going to click OK, and I'm going to fix the spelling here. I didn't realize I couldn't edit it. Oh, remember, notice what all this is doing. This is just helping you get this in the right format. Let's see if I edit it now. It has the correct spelling in there. So really, this is kind of a silly little helper. All I had to remember was what they showed me here is multiple names separated by a semicolon. If I don't remember the semicolon thing, I can use my editor to help me get it right. So it's just kind of a extra little helper. Now we'll enter the rest of it, the name of the book, and the rest of the expected entries, repetitive strain injuries. And remember, the spell checker does not check your references. So it's up to you to spell everything right. 2021, Boston, City of Boston, Lighthouse Publishing in Boston. And the medium is print. They don't have any other bibliographic fields. If you wanted to see them and see, oh, do I know anything else about that might be useful that I already know, I like to add information even if it's not required, but they haven't given any of that to us. Now I click OK, and let's see what happens to my parenthetical placeholder. I get both of the authors listed because that is standard for MLA. That's the style I'm using. But apparently, MLA allows variations on citations, and we can do that here by clicking here, Edit Citation Now. And now in Edit Citation, I can choose to enter the actual pages from that source. In this case, it's pages 65 to 66, 65-66. And we can choose, apparently, an option for MLA or for other citations to suppress the author and suppress the title. And now when I click OK, my citation only shows the page numbers.
Is it suppressed just like condense it?
Yeah. And apparently this is allowed because we mentioned their name here in the footnote. So edit citation, I can choose to bring that back if I want. So by default, it will show the authors of your source. We modify this, just showing you that you do have ways to customize your parenthetical references. Now title didn't make a difference, but I would guess that other styles would want to show the title, and you could say, no, even if you want to, don't show me the title. So there I can edit my parenthetical citation, and now get back to the regular text. So back to the line where we ended with a footnote. Now I hit enter to start a new paragraph. New paragraphs have first line indented, and now I begin the next paragraph. People often listen to sounds. Our problems with earphones and earbuds. Besides making people feel awkward when they talk to you while they're walking down the hallway and you have your earbuds in them and you are ignoring them, there can be physical problems. I don't know how many times I've said hello to someone, they ignore me, and then realize, oh, they're listening to something. Little story while you're finishing up your typing. Back in the days of anxiety, a few years ago, I was in a class. A midterm was, I think it was a midterm. One student was so anxious about the test. They came in and their earbuds were blasting so loud that everyone else in the room could hear the music they were listening to in their earbuds. I had to ask the student, please turn those down. That person was under so much stress because of all the things that were going on, he eventually left just because he was so nervous about the midterm. Must have had hearing loss from how loud his earbuds were. Right here, the book takes a little break in showing you that you can count your words down there in the status bar. But you can also right-click Properties, or is it down here? Right-click and view the status. How did they do it? They did they clicked down here and saw the properties. Oh, there, just clicking on that. No, I don't want to find and replace. How did they show that? Let's see, they entered the text. They clicked on, they just clicked on the word count. There we go. Clicking on word count pops this up. I hardly ever do this. But if you ever are curious about your words, the total number of words are showing up there. Clicking on the actual count pops up this extra dialog if you curious about how many actual characters you have typed. I think the word count is most meaningful because that's almost all often in your requirements. Okay, we're adding more text now with finishing up this third paragraph. By using high quality auditory devices. Now we're going to be hitting a page break in a second. See how it automatically did a page break? I'm going to hide my white space by clicking here, or double clicking when I see that little double up and down arrow. Double click, it hides, oops, gotta be careful where you double click, exactly. Hiding that white space. And I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so you can see the end of that paragraph above. Double clicking on the line hides that page margin, but of course won't hide the blank space that it threw in there between my paragraphs. So a new paragraph demonstrating automatic page breaks. If you want to see that page view, double click there. It opens it back up. Hide that, double click, and it hides the page break, but still leaves that gray line. We do want to minimize that hearing loss. Now we have another citation. We don't have the author's details yet, so we're going to go to References, Insert Citation, New Placeholder, Sanchez, Enter. We will come back later and modify that source. So hide and show white space. It's only used, it doesn't change your document, it just makes your view a little less cluttered. Remember, I can also hide the ribbon if I need lots of room to see everything I'm typing. Double click to see what the page looks like. Double click so I just know that there's a new page starting. And it doesn't matter to me what's in the header. I just hide the header and footer and see the footnote on the previous page. Okay, now, yes?
How did you get the information to fall underneath that? Because I have like almost my whole paragraph is summed up in that one page.
Let's see here. So, did you miss? Let's see. Let's check your paragraphs here. So you're telling me your page isn't breaking. You're not coming to the end of the page there. Noise canceling. You have a couple more lines. Did you start a new paragraph after this?
Yes.
I guess I wouldn't worry about it for now. I'm just guessing maybe there's some content missing.
I think
Or your font size would make a difference. Check your font size for all your paragraphs. I'm going to open my home tab. Check normal. I'm going to right click normal modify. Is your normal modify showing 12 point for everything? That would make it not fill the page as quickly. Check your margins. Are your margins normal margins? Layout margins. Normal 1-inch margins. We can come back to that. I wouldn't worry about it for now. And we'll come check your page break. We already have shown how you can add or show the white space. And now we're ready to modify the source for Sanchez. We've added a placeholder just like we did for Clark before in the footnote. I click on that, down arrow, edit source. This source is a web page. Yeah, this is a web page, so I go to type of source, website, and enter this information now for Sanchez, the author. It's only one author, so I don't need to use that editor helper, although I could if I wanted. Say I don't remember how to do it, I could use the editor, but I'm just going to do Sanchez, comma, Jorge, Mario. Tab, 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 and name of the web page, technology and your hearing. And we jump down to year accessed. Although the actual year claimed by the website, to me, is fairly important. They don't have that. And many websites, sadly, you have articles, they do not say when the article was written. And that's huge, especially when you're dealing with technology, because it changes so rapidly that something that's 5 years old is like, oh, is it even worth reading, because things are so different than 5 years ago. That is so 5 years ago. If I want to show all bibliography fields, and I'm gonna, if anyone asks me about MLA, I would say MLA should require or strongly recommend the URL if I'm referencing a website. Apparently that's not that important. To me, what good is it if you don't give me the link? How am I going to find and verify that information? And remember, if it is important information to your paper, make a copy of that page or screenshots of it so someone can't claim that, oh, no, that wasn't what was said there. Okay, I click OK, and I think then we're ready, and Sanchez doesn't look any different. But when I generate my works cited, I will have all of his information.
Mr. Manning,
Yes.
mine says Sanchez, N dot D.
Oh, let's go to edit citation. See if it looks like that. Check, maybe another thing, check references. Are you doing MLA here? Make sure that's MLA.
Oh, it's an APA.
And let's see if yeah, there you go. APA would show the N.D. Yep. You can always change your style and it will change all your references to go with the style of your source. Good. So that was a good catch. That you happen to have changed that. Okay, we got the Sanchez source. We can always come back and edit the source. Now we're ready to continue our the last paragraph of our paper. Hit enter to start a new paragraph. And our last paragraph is now this is a summary. A lot of bad things. We're putting bad grammar here. It's going to suggest a fix for that. If it should be suggesting a fix to the grammar, I'm not sure why it's not doing that. Fix my spelling errors as I go. Right click, fix my typo. Now I'm not getting a suggested grammar problem. I'm not sure why, but we'll leave it as they told us to type it. And now we have most of the content done. Now it's time to let Microsoft do the work for us. I'm turning on my paragraph markings to show you one horrible error that many people do. Rookies in Microsoft Office will do this. We want a new page. What do? Enter 1,000 times till you see a new page. That is not how to do a new page. Control Z. Oh, I have to do Control Z a bunch of times. That is not how to do a new page. We're going to do it the professional way by insert page break. There is not, there is a control return keyboard shortcut if you do it a lot. I would not worry about memorizing keyboard shortcuts unless you're doing them a lot. Insert a new page break will start a new page. And there's my new page. Not a ton of empty lines to get to a new page. That is the wrong way to do it. And I regularly have students that will do that for me because they look at what it's supposed to look like and think, oh yeah, to get a new page, just keep hitting new lines until I get a new page. Something the book does not tell you is over under layout, I can insert breaks there as well, but it shows me that I can insert what is called section breaks. And if you're ever doing a document that you like have a map on one page that you want to be landscape, it's really nice to know that if you make a next page section break, you can set that section to be landscape and then start a new section after that and go back to portrait. So section breaks can be very useful. And of course you can do multiple chapter documents. And the section break will start the renumbering of footnotes, I believe. So if you're doing more advanced things, know about these other type of breaks that are available on the layout page. Basic page break is available there on the insert. Okay, now we could go to references and insert a bibliography, works cited, but in the book they said let's have control over that title ourselves. Let's type works on a centered line. So I'm going to center it by hovering over the center of my page, double clicking, and now type works cited. And let's see if we want that font to be a particular style. We want that style to be centered. And I guess they didn't apply any other, I guess it was normal. And now the next line, I hit enter to start a new line. I'm going to Control L or go to the Home tab, left align. If I don't remember, Control L takes me to a line left. Now is when we're going to let Microsoft Word do the work for us. All the work we've done at keeping track of sources. Now I go to the bibliography. Since we have typed the title works cited, we don't need to use this one. We can go, just give me the bibliography part of it. It's kind of silly to me, like, okay, it's all the same except for the title above it. And then insert bibliography is actually all the references. So I click insert bibliography and look at, I have a beautiful MLA style bibliography. I'll turn off my formatting marks just to make it clear what that looks like. And this is where you might check with your instructor saying, what are you expecting the works cited to look like? You may find that your instructor's works cited looks a lot more like Turabian than what Microsoft is, MLA 7th edition. Yep. Oh, I just did. Let me do that again. I will go back to MLA. All I did was, I'll do a Control Z a couple times. References, bibliography, insert bibliography right down there. All your sources that you have in your paper will now be listed in your bibliography. Isn't that cool? So as you're reading and preparing a research paper, you could have Word open, and as you come to sources and think, hey, I might use something from here, I can go to Manage Sources. I can add sources here, or even take sources that I have already used in previous documents. It remembers all my sources. As long as it's added here, it will show up in my works cited. Now, one thing they do now, a few more things in the textbook, doing some modifications to things and seeing how that works. We're now proofreading it, and we realize a particular source has the wrong title for their technology aches and pains. The title of the periodical is not Monthly Medical and Review, it's Monthly Medical Review. We need to correct that. Now I could change this all to normal text and then edit this as normal text. That would be the rookie way to do it. We want to go to References, Manage Sources, and edit the Zhao source. I'm surprised that a double click doesn't do anything here. I have to click and then edit, and I change that title to Monthly Medical Review. Remember, typos are not caught in these references. I click OK after modifying the title. Click OK, and no, I'm not changing all my sources. You can, if you get this message, you can choose yes or no, it doesn't matter. And I click Close. But look, the title did not change here. What's going on? Well, I have to right click, update the field. The field is this bibliography. So right click, update field. Now it updates my bibliography. The same thing would happen if I close my Word document and reopen it. Word automatically updates fields as it opens your Word document. So if I made any changes to a source, I have to remember to come back and say, oh yeah, update the bibliography. I'm going to do a Control S just to make sure all the hard work I've done so far is not lost. And now we are just doing some typical things. You have a document, you want to make changes to it. We want to, first of all, check our citations, and we realize we could put our citation to the Clark and Nadir document. In the Clark and Nadir document, we do reference problems with a keyboard and mouse, and that did come from the Clark paper. So they would like to add a reference right here, since we're talking about disorders. So right here, we would like to add, hey, this came from the Clark source. Well, how do I do that? Insert citation. Oh, look, I can insert citations having to do with sources I'm already using. I don't have to do add new placeholder. I can just say, oh, placeholder for this document, and there we have Clark and Nadier's source. Then someone comes and says, wait a minute, that was supposed to go at the end of the sentence. Well, we can simply click on that and grab the little handle and drag it to the end of the sentence right between injuries and the period.
Did you do insert citation?
Yeah, I did insert citation under references and chose an existing source from my list. So you don't always have to start a new source. Since you have it, you just use a source that you already have in your document. Then I did a move to the end of the sentence, just to show you that whenever I have a source, just like with normal text, if you select through text, you can always click and drag it to anywhere else in the document. And these, you can't click here, you have to click on the little handle if you want to move that around. So I've added another citation and then moved it. And now we would like to find some text and do some replacing. Someone has told us that the word auditory is a little too intellectual sounding. So I go to my Home tab, and I can go to the Find, and up pops Navigation. Now, other documents pop up a little Find dialog. We're going to look for the word auditory. Auditory. And it pops us and highlights in yellow the word I'm looking for. I see two uses of the word auditory. And I would like to replace auditory with a less intellectual sounding word. So I go to replace. And I could grab a thesaurus from my bookshelf and decide to replace that with the word listening. We're going to see in a minute that we could have used synonyms to look for a better word if we couldn't come up with one ourselves. If we're fully confident we want to place all occurrences of auditory with the word listening, I could just hit replace all. I generally like to do replace and have it check one at a time. Yes, that looks good. Click replace. It bounces to the next version of it and click replace. Because sometimes replace all replaces things in places I wasn't expecting. Especially if it's a short word, it happens to be part of other words. It will replace that in all other words, even if it's a part of a word. So I like to play it safe and do the replace one at a time. And I can close then the Find and Replace dialog. And I can close my navigation bar. So Find and Replace is handy. Now if I wasn't using the Find and Replace, didn't know what to use, I could have gone to Listening and right-clicked and looked for synonyms. Notice it does not suggest auditory as a synonym to listening. I'm going to do a Control-Z undo and see what synonyms it offers for auditory. It does suggest hearing and not the word listening. So maybe that's why they chose listening, is because auditory synonyms, their current thesaurus didn't suggest listening. I suppose I could bring up a thesaurus or go online thesaurus and find that. I'm going to redo Control-Y, redo the replacing of auditory with listening. Control-Y is a handy thing, like you did a Control-Z too many times. It's equivalent to these little guys. Do or redo things in your document. Do we do replace all, find and replace? We're showing how we can use the thesaurus. They go to the word continuous. Where's the word continuous? That is continuous. I guess I can find continuous. I'll just look for continuous. Find, Control F. Oh, Control F. Continuous. And do we not use the word continuous? I guess taking continuous breaks. Where's the taking continuous breaks? That was in our last. Did I miss a paragraph? Oh, continue. I probably spelled it wrong. Where is that? Continual. Continue. There it is. Continual breaks. We want to replace that. Not keep using that. And in this case, they change this continual to right click, synonyms, frequent. I'll let you choose one of the synonyms. There we go. So we know how to add a little variety if we keep reusing the same word. My oldest child had, when he was writing, would always reuse the same word. And I'd say, come on, change the word. And I taught him how to use the thesaurus, and Microsoft Word suggested synonyms. And he got better at writing as he practiced it more in college. Now we're almost ready to submit this, but before we submit it, we want to do a review and check for any spelling. Even though throughout the paper I've seen red squigglies and sadly not grammar suggestions that I think should have been there, I can click spelling and grammar and it will go through my entire document checking for spelling. It thinks that that may be an error. I know that that's the correct spelling of his last name. I double check his email. Does he sign his email with that? And then I say, no, I think that's the correct. Let's ignore all occurrences of that. I have it right. And that is the only spelling parameter that it detects. So now we're happy with spelling, but we want to know just a few more skills. Suppose I am checking somebody else's document and I want to review and maybe make comments on what they have entered, suggestions. So down towards the end of the text, they show you how you can read through a document and then add comments, or I don't think they show tracking changes, but let's show how we can add comments. The review tab is here. Here we can add comments. But first, before we add a comment, we want to take and highlight the text that we want to comment. We want to comment on this line right here, so I drag through it. And it doesn't matter how far you go. I drag through that line, and then I click New Comment. And the comment is going to be, they even give us a comment, and we won't have to type the whole comment. The comment is, cover this in our brochure. So I comment, cover this in our brochure. A comment by the researcher to the person that's going to publish this or get it printed or deal with other documents. And I can close my revisions. In the review tab, I can show or not show comments. Underneath show markup, I can say, oh, turn off comments, and now that red isn't showing. Show markup, I can check, yeah, show me comments. It will show a red comment, and if I click on that, if I show reviewing pane, there. If I show the reviewing pane, it will show the comment. I can turn on or off the reviewing pane. All right, so that's one way of dealing with reviews. If you are correcting somebody else's document, I find this is more useful than comments. To correct something, let's just say we wanted to use a different word than disorder. And let's see, it offers synonyms. Yeah, so it does offer synonyms. Let's just say we want to suggest a different word. I'm going to turn on track changes, choose disorder, so right click disorder and go synonyms, and let's just choose ailment. It will show the replacement of disorder with ailment. And I can then send this to the person and they can say, hey, what changes did you make? Rather than having them try to figure out by just reading through and try to remember what the changes were. This is great if you're helping someone fix their document, or if even as an instructor showing you where your errors were. You can turn on track changes, make any corrections, and as I hand it to someone, they can say, well, I don't need to see that. Just turn off markup or turn off tracking changes, or no, don't show any markup. Just show the corrections. So I can get a document, someone says, hey, I've made some changes. Oh, I can come and say, oh, let me see what changes you made. Oh, okay, there's the changes, there's the comments. So very handy when you're helping someone with their documents under review. showing or hiding markup, and turning on or off tracking changes. Very useful when someone says, hey, here is our current policies. Check for spelling errors. Turn on track changes, check for spelling errors, fix some grammar, keeping the tracking changes on, and they will see. If you don't track changes, it won't show them. You have to turn on tracking changes to show them. And of course, you can turn off tracking changes if you don't want them to see or have highlighted the other changes you made, like obvious name changes or something. Okay, with that, you are done with this project. So you can save it, and while you're saving it and uploading to Populi, I'm just going to show you one more thing. You don't have to do this. I'm going to do a Control S, closing my document. You can go and upload to Populi while I just entertain you with a little Word, or for Google Docs. I'm going to go to my Google Docs, go to my Google Drive. I'm going to drag this document from my File Explorer. I'm going to drag this document I just completed. I'm going to drag it to my Google Drive. It's uploaded to my Google Drive. And now I'm going to open it in Google Docs. It's open in Google Docs. It shows that it is seeing that this as a Word document up there with the little docx highlighted. But sadly, if I go to Tools, Citations, Google Docs doesn't know that I have sent it citations in the Microsoft Word document. You'd think, since it does have citation capabilities, it would see them in Microsoft Word documents. I even tried going to File, Save as Google Docs, and it will now put that in Google Docs format with notice there's no docx in anymore. And in citations, it does not see the citations. I'm thinking in the future, Google Docs will recognize citation sources that were present in my Word document. So, although Google Docs does look a lot like Microsoft Word, it doesn't use those extra features of reviewing, although much of the rest of it does look the same. Let's see, it's Times New Roman's 12 point. It does have footnotes. And it does have, oh, it just turned a citation into just normal citation text. So, although you can do citations in Google Docs, you have to start over. It doesn't follow them from a Word document. But it looks like Google Docs is getting closer to similar review capabilities and inserting bibliographies in Google Documents. And that's it for your Word Project 2. That's ready to upload to Populi. If you are done, have it uploaded. Be sure to close your Word document so you haven't accidentally uploaded an unfinished Word Project 2. And I'll give you extra time to hang out with doers, to hang out with each other, extra time before chapel today. Any questions? I'll be hanging around here. Upload to Populi, and I'm hoping to get all the grading done, catch up with grading this afternoon. Have a wonderful day.
Bruh. Why am I clipped? Submit that assignment with the red line correction word disorder ailment, or did you want us to fix that?
Or do you care?
You don't care. That was just an example.
Okay, but do you, like, if I submit with that in there, is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Wait, would this week?
I said.
Or you could also send me the video because I
Oh, yeah.
a little slow